In a world marked by division and uncertainty, yoga emerges as a powerful force of unity. Beyond physical postures, yoga fosters inner peace, mindfulness, and compassion, transcending culture and societal boundaries. By connecting individuals to their inner selves and to others, yoga creates a shared space of understanding and empathy. In times of global unrest, yoga offers not just a practice but a path towards collective harmony, healing, and universal connection. So today's panel discussion will be on the topic, the role of yoga in promoting unity amidst global unrest. Our next panelist, whose Buddhist name is Tejawaro, Malaysian by origin of Indian heritage. He started learning Buddhism at 7 years of age in 1991. At 15 years of age, he becomes Srimanara in Malaysia. He became a bhikshu in Thailand when he was 20 years of age. In 1997, he went to Taiwan to learn Mahayana Buddhism and studied Chinese at National Sun Yat-sen University. He completed his bachelor's degree in anthropology at Marylhurst University, USA in 2008. He holds a master's degree in yoga from Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya in Haridwar, India. Most recently, he completed his PhD in yoga and the Buddhist tradition in 2017 at Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, India. Currently, he is preparing for the postdoctoral program at National Cheng Kung University, Tainan, Taiwan. In addition, he gives lectures on Ayurveda and yoga at National Sun Yat-sen University and also serves as vice abbot for the Golden Mountain Temple. I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. K JAIN, who is working as a Professor of Leadership, Emotional Intelligence and Organization Design, Dean Accreditation and Ranking, Online PGDM and School of Management for Financial Institutions and Management Development Institute, Gurgaon. He has established a Center of Excellence for Indian Thought and Management. Professor Jain is a visiting professor to several international universities including Aarhus University, Denmark, IULM University, Milan, Italy, University of Free State, South Africa, and Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, Ranchi, Bodh Gaya, and Kozhikode. Professor Jain has received an award for extraordinary performance for Aarhus University for his research and publication and from National Academy of Psychology, India. He has also worked as the Director of Institute of Management Studies, Ghaziabad, and received a prestigious award of Most Charismatic Leader in Management Education and Education Post. He has published 72 research articles in high-impact journals including Journal of Managerial Psychology, International Journal of Hospitality Management, etc. He has research interests in the field of leadership, emotional intelligence, employee voice and silence, psychology, well-being. He has faith in Indian thoughts emanating from Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Tattvavat Sutra, Tipitaka, etc. He believes in traditional Indian knowledge system and practice concepts like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, and Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Professor K JAIN. Today in the panel we have with us Dr. Shiva Nair, who is an uro-oncologist in Hamilton, New Zealand. He is the clinical director for the urology department at Waikato Hospital. He has travelled across multiple cities and countries for his training. He has his publication on cancer and non-cancer topics. He has previously tutored at University of Otago and University of Auckland Medical School and remained active in teaching and training his students and residents. Dr. Nair remains ardent student of Vedanta. He was taught Guru Parampara by the Chinmay Mission and currently he is studying several texts including Upanishads. He is active in Hindu Swamsevak Sangh in New Zealand at the local level. His primary goal is to understand the self-knowledge and spread it to as many as possible. I am privileged to welcome Mr. Bhanu Sharma. He is an accomplished and dynamic leader at Tega Industries, where he serves as an executive committee member overseeing a diverse workforce across 21 countries in 6 continents. As the global head of HR and IT, Bhanu plays a pivotal role in driving cultural transformations and organizational effectiveness within a company renowned for its critical consumable in the mining, mineral processing, and material handling industry. With over 2 decades of experience, he has honed his expertise in scaling startups, acquiring and integrating major infrastructure companies, and guiding Indian corporates to become global MNCs. His unique journey from a software engineer to a seasoned HR professional has provided him with a deep understanding of business functions, allowing him to approach HR with empathy and exclusiveness. He has done his master's in management from MDI Gurgaon and another computer application from Punjab Technical University. Beyond his professional achievement, he is a retired ultra-marathoner, dedicated father, avid reader, and engaged philanthropist, investing in and mentoring non-profits. His ability to simplify complex challenges and create buy-in for large-scale solutions make him a true HR business partner, respected for his visionary leadership and commitment to excellence. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Bhanu Sharma. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tobar, Convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomar is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Namaste, everybody. Namaste, namaste, namaste. I, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, welcome this elegant and eminent panel of experts from different parts of the world. We acknowledge your presence, Dr. Tejawaro ji from Taiwan. Thank you very much for being here. Acknowledge your presence, Bhanu ji from India. So kind of you to be here today. We acknowledge and respect presence of Dr. Shiva Nair from New Zealand and my friend Dr. K JAIN from India. Dear friends and audience participants watching us from different parts of the world. The topic of our discussion today is the role of yoga in promoting unity amidst global unrest. So to begin with discussion, let's start with the fundamental question. And in our array of speakers today, we have a professor, a medicine doctor, professional of HR and IT, and a spiritual master. So we can see one truth from different dimensions. I think somebody's speaker is on. Bhanu Sharma ji, can you mute your speaker? Perfect. Now, whenever I will invite, then anybody of you can unmute and start speaking. That way, that humming will be reduced. Perfect. So we have people from 4 different walks of life to talk about one truth. So we are going to discuss about how yoga can contribute in bringing global peace amidst this global unrest. So to begin the discussion, we would like to ask from you, Dr. Tejawaro ji, what is yoga? And may I request all the speakers to be brief in their answers so that we can have many rounds of discussion so that audience will be benefited more. Over to you, Tejawaro ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ji, what is yoga?
Yoga is peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is understand oneself and understand others. When I mean others means the nature, whatever is in nature, so we understand each other. So that is yoga.
Perfect. Thank you very much. He brought some important words mentioning yoga is knowing self and others, understanding nature, being mindful. Dr. Nair, you are exposed to Vedantic traditions. You are also a medical doctor. From a Vedantic and a medicinal perspective, how do you see yoga?
Hari Om. So yoga, to my understanding, is yunjin. Yunjin comes from the Vedic word, and then it's translated to yoga, which means to join with something. So here, the joining is with the higher. You can say the united conscious. And if you're looking at the processes, then you have different types of yoga. You got the hatha, pranayama, and it goes up, right? So to me, yoga is that.
Thank you very much. One more meaning we got from Sanskrit root yuja, saying that union with the higher. Bhanu Sharma ji, you have been widely traveling across the planet. In many parts of the world, there is a confusion between yoga and gymnastics. So, would you like to elaborate upon?
For me, yoga is congruence of mind, body, and soul. So today we all need a stress-free and a very happy life. So gymnastic and sports can make you physically fit, but it will not help you lead a happy and a stress-free life. That is what yoga can offer.
Thank you very much. So, Bhanu Sharma ji mentioned that it is the combination of mind, body, and soul, union of these three, and gymnastic or physical aspect is only one aspect of yoga as a philosophy. So, we have our friend Dr. Jain. Jain Saab, yoga has many limbs in it, and one of the important limbs is yamas and niyamas. So, you come from Jain tradition. Would like to know from you that ahimsa as a limb of yoga, as a part of yoga, what contribution do you see it has to the world we have today? You are muted, Jensa.
Yeah. Namaskar. Pranam, sir. Regarding yoga, like first, the brief, maybe since I am a professor, so I would like to just quote quickly 2-3 scriptures from where I have borrowed the definition of yoga. Number one is Vaisheshik Sutra, and that is verse 5.2 and 15th and 16th verse. In brief, I am saying it is a journey to self. It is a journey to self from external orientation to inner orientation. The second is Kathopanishad, verse 6.10. And in brief, again, a firm restraint of the senses. A firm restraint of the senses is yoga. Third, Gita 2.48, the verse 2.48, that talks about samatva. It means equal-mindedness can also be considered yoga. Patanjali, verse 1.2, it says Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that is also yoga. So calming down of the fluctuations is also yoga. Regarding the Jainism, you said, because it's very important, because in India, Sanatan Parampara also have very good space for what we call sometimes Nastik Dharma, that is Buddhism and Jainism. In Jainism, there is a very beautiful concept called three jewels. And three jewels means right view and right knowledge and the right conduct is yoga. In Buddhism, we are all about aware of like eightfold path. That is also connected with the yoga. And in Patanjali, that is like 8-limbed path, like Yama Niyama and Asana Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. All are part of yoga. And I think Patanjali, in a way, in my view, is the best source of yoga, and nothing can be better than Patanjali. That talks about in a very holistic level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jain Saab. And as I promised to the audience, we have people from different walks of life. You can see so many definitions of yoga so that you can pick and choose and you can identify the common denominator between whatever is being shared. That's amazing, Jain Saab. You mentioned about yoga is restraint of senses as mentioned in Kathopanishad. Dr. Tejawaro ji, whole multinational companies are promoting that leave your senses open. Whole world is yours to consume. And now yoga talks about restrain your senses. How it is possible? I am here in this consumerization of the world to go and consume. And Jen Saab is saying to restrain the senses. How is it possible?
uh, it it comes back to oneself again to see our mind, how much peace you are at every moment. So of course we need to use things, we have to go outward to make this body alive. That is definitely needed. But at the end, most of the time you are alone, sleeping, resting, and you have to see yourself. And whenever you are with yourself, then mind comes. So whenever all the senses, whenever all the six sense used to go out and indulge with everything, then it is very difficult uh, for you to have peace, because our mind used to move. And when it makes when you makes it to calm, it's very hard. So that's why for mind we need peace. For peace we need to make all the senses pull inward, then you will find the peace. But outer peace, we will have the temporary peace, but for long term peace, definitely we have to practice pratyahara.
One technical term introduced by Dr. Tejawaro is pratyahara. He said, withdraw the senses and use material things to keep the body alive. We need things. But as we see, you are a traveler, Bhanuji. You know that you also work in a corporate. So if Mahatma Gandhi said, world has enough for everybody's need, but not enough for a single person's greed. And this greed further has created global unrest from different ways. So what message of yoga is there to this global edge where this need and greed combination, outward and inward combination can be bridged upon? How yoga can bridge?
Uh, Thank you, Tomar Saab, and thank you, Tanjavur ji. It's a very, very I mean, like you gave me another dimension because when Tomar Saab was asking that question, I had my own answer to that. So thanks a lot. Already learning in this session, just in the starting. So Tomar Saab, I think when I go out and even here, I think the whole idea of Darwinism, where we are told that there is only one pie, and that's where the whole competition, the unrest, the fighting, and all that comes into the picture, because we all think there is only one one piece of bread, and everybody wants to have it from that, and that's where the issue happens. Now yoga teaches us abundance. Yoga teaches us to be in sync with ourselves. Yoga teaches us to be in sync with our endowments. So once we internalize, we realize that there is enough for everybody outside. There is enough for me, there is enough for my colleague, there is enough for my brother, sister, anybody and everybody around. So you start believing in yourself. So I have actually practically seen it working with myself, with a lot of colleagues. We have started doing yoga across the globe. A couple of initial years, there were some issues from some countries. Now they have realized it's neutral. They have started following. And when we talk about organizations, as you asked, they are talking about going full hog and doing things completely. So the world also, if you see the organizations which are doing well, they are those organizations which where like Google, Facebook, where employees have brought about something. So again, I'm going back to the endowments. So the world is moving from a top-down approach to a bottom-up approach, from a KRA, traditional KRA methods in the organization, to OKR, where people down the line are being creative, they are conscious, they are connected, they are bringing the ideas. So the authority or the loyalty has changed to belongingness, and that is yoga is the key, I would say. It helps you, it's one instrument which can help you fast track your realization of endowments, and fast track you be in sync with yourself, and in turn, I mean, like you become a more, even you see the organizations coming now. People are not going for patents. You see, I mean, like Tesla and all. They are saying let it be a free world. Let everybody come compete. So we are moving towards there, and yoga can actually be a huge catalyst in fast tracking this abundance thought rather than Darwinism thought.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As I'm going into the discussion, I'm loving it all the more because we are seeing so many non-traditional dimensions of yoga. Bhanuji spoke exactly from a corporate point of view, how things that one pie to and redefining your KRAs. Dr. Shiva, you mentioned that there is one KRA of yoga, key result area of yoga, union with the higher. Fine. So when I have that union with the higher, how will it help in global peace? You mentioned that yoga leads to union with the higher, and that should be my KRA. How will it help in global peace?
Hariom. So that's saying yatha drishti tatha srishti, right? How I see will be how the world reflects onto me. So if you see yourself as peaceful, when you have united with the higher conscious, that means I see no differences between me and the next being. How can there be conflict? So it itself would dissolve the idea of conflict.
Being peaceful inside will help me to see peace outside and be peaceful with others also. Uh, Tejawaro ji, you mentioned about, as Dr. Shiva mentioned, that yatha drashti tatha srashti, and you told us to invert our drashti. You told us to do pratyahara, withdraw. My eyes are showing me outside. You said, see inside, search inside. So would you like to teach in next maybe 1 and 2 minutes, give some practical tips to the audience who are not exposed to yoga? How can we withdraw senses? Some practical, ready to use tips.
Perfect. First is our mind is meant to move. So yoga meant to make the mind not to move. So we are easily to get stressed or emotion imbalance or the tense. So the practical is whenever we see ourselves, whenever you don't like to see someone talk to you in not nice way or see you or think of you in a bad way, so we have to make ourselves, the way we speak, the way we think, the way we make ourselves to outward to others in a positive way. Because first, thought process, speech, and your act, only three way. So whatever you would like to receive from others, the same thing you have to give to others. So that is the most important part, what we could practice. I would make in this way.
Perfect. So you mentioned about that keeping mind still is very important, and dealing with emotional imbalance, yoga can contribute a lot. So, and you also mentioned that even if somebody is talking badly with you, you do need to do that transition. And from here, things may start moving. Dr. Tejawaro mentioned a very good dimension about emotional imbalance. I was reading a research, 1 on every 8 person on the planet is going through mental issues. How yoga can contribute in mental resilience. Dr. Jain, you have been studying, researching things. Question to you is how yoga can help in better mental resilience among people, emotional balance and mental resilience against the stress.
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. I think very interesting question, Tumur sahab. Because you know that Gita begins from here. So Krishna has, somewhere blessed Arjun to develop mental resilience during the battle, in the battlefield and during the war time. And when I am thinking of Kurukshetra, so basically we all are in the Kurukshetra as far as we are alive. So mental resilience is very fundamental to all of us. And when we talk about resilience, it looks like that we are going to gymnasium, we are going to play some big games in order to develop a strong body. And mostly people, they fall upon building a strong body rather than a peaceful mind and restful mind. And I'm just borrowing one sutra from Tatvar Sutra in Jainism. And the fundamental in Jainism is called Parasparop Graho Jivanam. So it means that in the entire universe, one maybe you can say living organism depends on another living organism. So we have interdependencies. So interdependencies should be appreciated, and once we appreciate interdependencies, then it automatically it becomes resilient mind. Because if I hurt somebody, I know I'm getting hurt in return. So be careful about the well-being of others. If you respect others' well-being, then automatically your well-being is intact. And in Jainism, it is says Gio or Jidedo, live and let live. And sometime back, one of my friend, Mr. Ajay Mishra from DD News, has asked this question during a TV show, that what is the solution of the trade war between China and US? So I said again, Geo or Jidedo, live and let live. The $60 trillion or 50, or I think for 40 to 50 trillion dollar belongs to only two countries. And then mental resilience means that just be happy in whatever you have. And the research in psychology shows that if you are not mentally resilient, then you may suffer with lots of psychological disorder like anxiety and depression, emotional irregular pattern of thoughts and emotions also. In if I borrow something from my own experience and especially from the field of OB, one of my director from IIT Kanpur, he used to say that one man can spoil the entire organization. If I go little further, then what is something that can disturb one person or spoil one person? That is his nasty emotions. So control over nasty emotions, described in chapter 2 of Gita, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad and Matsar. Regulate. So that is one part. But at Swami Gunatinanda, he also spoke on gratitude. So gratitude, I think I will suggest, and I will go with Gunatinanda ji, that gratitude should be inculcated in us so that we can have more resilience. And gratitude means appreciating interdependencies.
Thank you very much. Jan Saab mentioned so many profound things. Parasparo Upgraho Jivana. Jan Saab mentioned about Geo and Jinedo, be relatively neutral to the world, non-reactive towards the situations. And it reminds of me of something what Bhanuji mentioned. He used a word that yoga is neutral. So a world traveler like him, yoga is being told that in some of the parts it is considered as that it is religious, but you mentioned a word that yoga is neutral. I think that requires a little bit more elaboration, and that will increase the acceptability of yoga as a discipline when you say yoga is neutral and it can bring bridge between culture, religion, and national, go beyond national divides even. Would you like to speak something about it, Bhanuji?
Thank you, Thomas. So, see, I would, I'll be very, very candid in answering this question. So, for me, at the way we started, we had multiple definitions of yoga among ourselves. Now, what happens is that a lot of time, and this is like purely my interpretation, I've seen that we attach a lot of things. Like, I have a teenage son, I wanted him to practice yoga, and a lot of other friends and all. The challenge I have seen is that there are a lot of preparations, or I mean, like, there are a lot of things the generation today or the Western world is not comfortable with. Be it, I mean, like, exercising, let's say, celibacy, or not having maybe their drinks, or not having non-veg, or not having a lot of other kind of things. But what I have also seen is that if we if we, let's say, play the waiting game and let them experience it at their own terms, I have seen people changing over the years. I have changed a lot of people. So I think uh, the the bar of acceptance should be maybe like the way Baba Ramdev made it popular. He started with the physical exercise. People came closer, got used to it, and then it went to the pranayams. And we also see inner engineering. We see Sudarshan Kriya. We see a lot of these 20 minutes, 25 minutes capsules being developed, so that people at least they get exposed to in a very neutral way. Uh, and 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 I think that's the key, maybe today, that uh, while uh, so I always quote Roger Federer, because he said a very good thing, that there is passion and there is discipline. Now, either you are talented and you are passionate about something. Jisko, if we look at our scriptures, there is bhakti and there is gyan. So there is passion and there is knowledge. So if you are not talented, right, you have to follow the other way. And 95% of us are not that gifted or that talented, so we follow this way. We practice through physical way, we practice, we get into the discipline, and maybe then we get connected to ourselves after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's like swimming, and then you meditate, and first you don't understand what is meditation, and a lot of thought comes to you. You keep practicing it over years, and it comes to you. So I think if it is presented more as a neutral way, more as acceptable to the context, and also we look at Shruti and Shravan. So there was nothing written back then in the scripture, so that everything remains relevant with respect to the time, society. So I think
Thank
we should. That's the way people are accepting it now, and we have seen there are a lot of live examples, and people
you.
want, as Jain Saab has also said, people want to be stress free,
So,
and this is
thank
the
you very much,
medicine.
Bhanuji, mentioning about how let people sink in with it, and then gradually they will go to the higher realms of yogic philosophy. Uh, Dr. Shiva Nair mentioned about it is must that one has to be peaceful within. Dr. Jain also mentioned to remove shat ripus. Dr. Nair, practical tips which I want to do from right now to be more peaceful with myself. What should I do? I don't know yoga. I haven't heard even word Vedanta. Tell me 2, 3 things that I would like to do from today itself.
That's a very interesting. Just comment before you said 1 in 8 had mental disturbance.
Yes, yes.
I
One
think it's
in
the other
eight.
way around. I think it's 7 out of 8. 1 in 8.
Okay.
1 in 8 have mental peace.
So
To be
might
honest.
be you must have read the more latest report than when
No,
I
I
read it
mean
was 1 in 8.
1 in 8 might be diagnosed as mental disorder. But a lot of people who have mental disturbance without being diagnosed as mental
Yeah,
disorder.
yeah,
So
I agree.
I think 7 and 8 are in mental disturbance and 1 and 8 are in peace, honestly. But the tips, I think the Patanjali yoga is very prescriptive, and for some of us, we need to start with niyamas and yamas and asanas, and that is fine. And breathing techniques, and it's all over. Everyone on the internet. Mindfulness is the new catch term. uh, Peaceful breathing, all those things can help because your pranas are connected to your mind. So if you control your pranas, you can get temporary control of your mind. So that's the first practical tip. Anything online you can look at, and whether it's Western influenced or Eastern influence, everyone's mindfulness is now the fad. And if you go to our Hindu scriptures, then you can get higher. But the starting point is you need to at least have some idea that I need to have peace within. That's number one. Number two is if I want to have peace within, I need to have my breathing control. I need to sit down quietly in one place. So that's asana and pranayama done. And then once your mind is ready, then the guru will come and teach you. So that's what I think.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much. Now, we are going to have a rapid fire for just 40 seconds each of you. So, one quick tip from everybody of you, how to be more peaceful. We are celebrating International Week of Peace. No elaboration. Everybody, 30 seconds with you, 30 to maximum 40 seconds. Any quick tip that worked for you, your personal method, your personal mantra to be more peaceful whenever you confronted a situation. Maximum time, 30 seconds to 40 seconds per person. May I request Dr. Tejawaro to begin with?
Thank you. Ahimsa, Karuna, Metta, Upekha. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May I request now Dr. Jain? Quick 30 seconds begins now.
Yeah, I will say detachment, and non-possession, aparigraha and vairagya. The reason is very simple. Yesterday, even my sister-in-law, she lives in Mumbai. She called me that she was asking me because she was disturbed and moving into another job, how to get rid of these kind of irritations and anger. So I said, just feel detached. You did not bring anything to the world, and you are not going to take back
Thank
anything.
you.
So feel
Thank you
like
very much.
you are living in a like resort life,
Thank you very
living
much.
like a
Detachment and non-possession. Thank you very much, Jain Saab. May I request Bhanu Sharma ji? Your 30 seconds starts now.
So I do pranayam, and even in the boardrooms, without putting my finger up, or in the flight, and then I concentrate with my eyes closed, and even sometimes with my eyes open. These are the two things, and I can do it anywhere and everywhere, even standing, which
Thank
calms
you.
me.
very good. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's a good
Dr.
thing.
Shiva Nair, your 30 seconds begins now.
I'll go a little bit higher. Jagat Mithya Brahman Satyam, or you can say Ishwar Satyam, right?
Very
So
good.
everything will pass, Bhagwan remains. So
Very
Perfect.
nice.
Perfect. Thank you very much, respected guests who have come from different parts of the world and dear audience. So we had a wonderful discussion on the topic, the role of yoga in promoting unity among peace and unity among global unrest. So, dear friends, as Dr. Tejawaro mentioned, that yoga is peace, mindfulness, knowing self and surrounding and nature. Our friend Bhanuji mentioned it's the combination of mind, body, and soul. Dr. Shiva said it's a union with the higher, and our Jain Saab mentioned about that it is the withdrawal of the senses, journey towards insight, and it is being equanimous. Samatvam yoga uchyate. And how to achieve that thing, Dr. Tejawaro mentioned that starting with self-restraint, use things. And this is, every material thing is to keep the body alive and safe, do it for it, but let mind not follow your senses. and start with pratyahara, withdrawing of the senses. Our friend Bhanu Sharma ji mentioned that when you will withdraw your senses, you will feel abundance, because the more greed you will feel, the lack, the more scarcity you will find. But when you sink in yourself, then you'll find lot of endorsements that we have and change your KRA. And as he mentioned, in corporates also, when this site is changing, then from authoritative, it is becoming more belongingness that has to be taught in corporates also. And this is what is happening in many places of the world. Dr. Shiva Nair mentioned, when this insight changes, yatha drashti tatha srashti, then it leads to more peace within. Professor Jain mentioned that because this peace is needed, because we are in Kurukshetra of life. And in order to bring this peace, we need to learn how that we are mutually dependent. If I hurt you, that hurt will come back to me. He gave importance to human responsibilities. When I fulfill my responsibilities, it will in turn protect others' rights also. That's why he said Geo and Ginedo. He mentioned that even one person can spoil whole organization. Probably he also wanted to say that means even one person can bring beauty to the organization, peace to the organization. He mentioned the importance of gratitude and control over your shat ripus, and how to begin controlling your shat ripus, because for that they are things which creates ripples in the mind. Our Dr. Tejawaro mentioned that keep your mind still. Even if somebody is abusing you, using wrong words, use your thought, speech, and action. You have a choice there. Be a transitional person, he mentioned. And adding to this, Bhanuji also mentioned that there are many things which higher spiritual practices expect you, like celibacy, not taking non-veg. All of that is good, but let person be initiated. Change will come from within itself. As egg, if you break from outside, life ends, but when egg is broken from inside, life begins. So beautifully he said that let the passion seep in, discipline will follow. He also said that the time it is Shruti to Shravanam, it has, because it has been a Shruti parampara, it always adjusted its principles. The global principles have always accommodated at the time. That's why these principles are beyond time. Every time can find its resort in that thing also. Dr. Shiva Nair mentioned that if you want to start from controlling yourself, connecting with the higher, then he said first follow yama and niyamas. Some basic pillars of a society: speak truth, follow non-violence, don't possess things. So yamas and niyamas, he mentioned, are very important. He said, keep your body straight, make your body stable. When body becomes stable, even mind becomes stable. He also said, keep your breath stable. Pranayama, do pranayama. Probably he also wanted to say that mind and prana are twin sisters. When prana is regulated, mind automatically get regulated. He also said, find a mentor, a guru. Guru will initiate you to the right direction. That's amazing tips our friend has suggested. Jain Saab also added to it is that we may need to assure that we need to be detached. We are too temporary to have permanent problems in life. Non-possession. We brought nothing, we'll take nothing back home. Our friend Tejawaro ji also said, follow ahimsa. Law of karma will come back to you otherwise. Swami Vivekananda used to say, good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. He also said, Karuna, have compassion to all, detached with everything, but connected with all. Upeksha, indifferent to everything which is not okay. Be a bad listener whenever it is needed. Upeksha. Mudita, being joyous in the happiness of others also, because we belong to one, we are mutually dependent. Parasparo upagraho jivanam, as Jain Saab mentioned. And then Bhanuji mentioned about wherever you are, do dharana, start concentrating on any object, even at the airport or railway station. It will help you to be peaceful. Do pranayama in your office, in your meetings. And Shiva Nair concluded with the biggest reality, aham brahmasmi, jagat mithya. So he said that it too will pass. Nitya Anitya Vibhed. Once we connect ourselves to the Nityam, Anityam, automatically we get Vairagya to Anityam. So having that Viveka, what is Nityam, and leaving Vairagya with what is Anityam, I'm sure if we follow these quick tips given by our masters today, we will create peace within and peace with the surrounding and a peaceful world around. Thank you very much, dear friends. And I bow down in humility and respect, Professor Jain to be here, Dr. Tejawaro to be here, Dr. Shiva Nair to be here, Bhanuji to be here. So kind of you, in gratitude.
And thank you, Dr. Tomar, to you also for being a great moderator, amazing moderator. Your memory is very sharp. You always remember so many things so nicely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhanu. Thank you, Dr. Tejawaro. Thank you.